What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm counting down my top 5 favorite sneaker pickups of 2020 so far. Yes, I'm out of ideas. So this is what you're gonna get. Guys, 2020 went in a direction that I think none of us wanted or expected. And that sucks because at the end of the day, it's really changed the course of a lot of our lives for both good reasons and bad reasons. Mostly bad, it seems like, but you know, try and always look on the positive side of things. And like I said, I'm trying to bring you all the most normal content possible so you have some sense of normality and you can sort of get lost in a sneaker video rather than thinking about everything that's going on. And unfortunately, because of all this craziness, there just isn't as much going on in the world of sneakers as there usually is. So rather than buy a random shoe that people don't really care about so that I can have a review or you know, talking about like a shock drop that happened 2 days ago, I've decided to count down my top 5 favorite sneakers that I've picked up so far because that's actually something that I'm interested in. Now the reason I'm doing a top 5 instead of like a top 20 because I picked up an insane amount of sneakers this year is because I wanted to narrow it down to the sneakers that I like the best and the shoes that I've worn the most. So the way that this list is going to be ranked is by pickups that I made this year that I wore the most. So obviously number 1 is going to be my most worn pickup of 2020 so far. Number 5 is going to be still one of my most worn pickups of 2020 so far. But that's the way that I'm going to order the list because I like all of the sneakers on the list a lot for different reasons. So I didn't want to try and figure out something that would be more complicated. I'm just going by most worn. But with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into the video with the honorable mention, the Air Jordan 1 Court Purple 2.0s. The reason this shoe is an honorable mention is because I love this shoe, but I just haven't worn it yet. Obviously because we're all stuck inside, and it's a miracle that I wore the other 5 shoes on the list, but this one is one that I would wear a lot if I could. Not only that, but today is also the last day to enter the giveaway for a brand new pair of Air Jordan 1 Court Purples in a size 10. It's not this pair, I've just been using this pair because it's laced up. I actually have it in a box from Finish Line. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, you have till the end of today, and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram at RealSethFowler, and comment done underneath the most recent picture of a pair of Court Purples on my Instagram page. And if you haven't already entered the giveaway, I've linked my Instagram at the top of the description. The 2020 Air Jordan 1 Court Purples are a beautiful pair of sneakers. I just love Air Jordan 1s in general, and this purple colorway pops. I don't know why I did it like that, but it's true. That's how I think of these shoes. I think they're yikes. I'm not gonna say it because I say it in every video where I talk about purple shoes, but I like these shoes because they are purple for a lot of different reasons. 1, because I like the color purple, and 2, because you guys know why. Lamar Jackson's the best. Don't at me. The leather quality on this shoe isn't great. The white leather areas are very plasticky and I think they're actually synthetic leather. The purple areas might be some form of chrome tanned leather, which is not the best. It's also, you know, not the worst. It's cheap leather. At the end of the day, it's a mass-produced sneaker. It's gonna be not the best leather. So visually, it looks amazing. Quality-wise, it's a $170 Air Jordan. That said, I do plan to rock the shit out of this sneaker as soon as I can, as soon as we can get outside, because this sneaker, this is beautiful. Moving on to number 5, we've got the 2020 Air Jordan 5 Fire Red. This shoe just had a shock drop on Sunday night during the premiere of Michael Jordan's documentary The Last Dance on ESPN. To my knowledge, it was just a limited initial drop before the actual release date on May 2nd. So if you missed out on the pair then, you should still be fine. This retro was first supposed to release on March 28th because it was the 30th anniversary of Michael Jordan doing something dope. I don't remember what it was, but it kept getting pushed back because of the crazy pandemic that the world's going through right now. I picked up my pair back in March on the GOAT app because GOAT app usually has early pairs available, and I grabbed my pair for a review. I was wearing this shoe a bunch before the quarantine started, and then once the quarantine started, it became a very indoor type of shoe. And to be fair, I still kept wearing it inside because I liked it so much, but it didn't get worn as much as I think it deserves to have been. The Air Jordan 5 has always been one of my favorite silhouettes, and I feel like that's true for a lot of people as well. And the reason that I feel so connected to this shoe personally and this exact fire red colorway is because back when I was doing customs through college just to pay for alcohol, let's be honest, a lot of people were coming to me with this shoe to customize because there was a lot of pairs available and people just didn't seem to care about them that much. So over the lifespan of my customizing career, I've probably customized between 30 to 40 pairs of these, which is kind of crazy when you think about probably only customized like 100 pairs total. It takes a lot of time to customize sneakers, and I didn't start airbrushing until near the end of my customizing career, so for most of it, I was brushing by hand. And the more that I looked at this colorway, the more that I fell in love with it because it's so simple and so clean, but it still pops with the red and the black. It's just such a great look. And of course, the 2020 version has the Nike Air branding on the heel, which is even cleaner, let's be honest. So it's a beautiful pair of sneakers and I'm stoked to have it. Not only that, but the leather that they used on this shoe is super soft, so it feels really good on feet even though it's still a pretty bulky shoe. After that, at number 4, we've got the Nike Dunk Low Syracuse. I've never been insanely into dunks, at least not the way that I'm into Air Jordan 1s, and that's not anything against the sneaker, I just never really fell in love with them the same way that I did with the Jordan 1s. I was a teenager during that initial dunk phase where everyone loved dunks and they were going for crazy money. I remember that first Staple Pigeon release, but I was never able to get those more limited dunks, so I guess I just never caught that bug. Even though I thought I was like a skateboarder at the time, I could just ollie, that was it. But now that dunks are coming back and people are getting back into dunks, and I'm an adult and I have money, I can actually buy dunks and experience what people experienced back in the mid-2000s. And I've got to say, I'm into it. I really like the Nike Dunk. I think I got the dunk bug. The Nike Dunk Low Syracuse is a regular dunk. It's not a Nike Dunk SB, and one of the ways you can tell is that it's got a regular thin tongue and not one of those fat pillow tongues. And this colorway is actually based off the Syracuse high top colorway from the Nike Dunk Collegiate pack. This was a shoe that, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't sure about at first, and it's not because it's a dunk, it's because it's bright orange. And I'm not usually someone who wears a lot of bright orange other than my shattered backboards or the laces on my We Are Underdog shoe. But when I actually threw these sneakers on feet and I started taking the dog for walks in this shoe, I fell in love with them. At the end of the year, this will honestly be one of my most worn sneakers of the entire year. I've just been wearing it so much. This colorway just pops so much, and that orange just is so bright and so out there. I just love it. I just think it's a really nice looking pair of sneakers. And the Dunk Low is just such a clean and simple silhouette. It's so easy to rock even with that crazy colorway. This is an awesome pair of sneakers, and it's definitely worth picking up before the resale price goes up anymore. After that, at number 3, we've got the New Balance 992 Joe Freshgoods No Emotions Are Emotions. Over the last year, New Balance has genuinely become one of my favorite sneaker brands because of how much amazing work they're putting out there. All of their sneaker collaborations, they're made in the US stuff, they're made in the UK stuff, all of it is just super high quality and it looks great. And I think the Joe Freshgoods New Balance 992 is kind of the pinnacle of that. This is probably my favorite New Balance collaboration ever. Well, I kind of like those bodegas a lot too. Maybe it's tied with that. This is my favorite New Balance collaboration of 2020. This shoe dropped during All-Star Weekend, and I was blessed enough to have New Balance send me a pair, which is so crazy. Thank you guys so much over at New Balance. This is such a sick pair of shoes, and I've worn this pair so much. Apparently the colorway is based on the anatomy of a heart, which I think is super cool. You can kind of see all the little ventricles and like heart stuff going on inside it. And on the left shoe, I've got the pink laces, and on the right shoe, which is right behind me, I've got the blue laces, which I actually think I like better. Color blocking aside, the materials that they used are also really nice. You've got nubucks and suedes and thick mesh, and it just comes together so well. And the 992 in general is already a stupid comfortable shoe. It's just such an easy pair to rock because it's so comfortable and it looks so good. I just hope New Balance keeps it up, man, because they are putting out some heat. Also, New Balance, if you're watching, if you want to collab, hit me up. That'd be sick. Coming in at number 2, you definitely saw this shoe coming, the We Are Underdog Seth Fowler Origin. If you've watched my channel at all since last November, I've been posting the crap out of this shoe because this is a sneaker that I actually collaborated on with We Are Underdogs, a Portuguese sneaker brand. I started designing the sneaker on Twitch back in November, and through the last couple months, you guys have been voting on different designs and different colorways. I've been flying over to Portugal to check out samples, and it's finally here in its almost production form, and I've been wearing it a bunch. I mean, I know it's my shoe, so I'm gonna say this, but the quality on this sneaker is impeccable. And that's something that I didn't actually design. That's something that the factory actually did themselves. They used super high quality Portuguese suedes and nubucks and leathers, and it's genuinely one of the most high quality sneakers in my collection. And that's actually the reason for the $200 price point, which some people were saying was too high, because we're using materials that are designer quality materials, real materials, on a shoe that we're trying to price as low as we can. Because honestly, at the end of the day, we're not making any money on this shoe. We're actually barely breaking even, and we haven't yet. So complain about the price point all you want, but it's not like we're greedy. It's not like we're making any money on it. We're just trying to give you the best sneaker available at the most reasonable price for that quality. I'm gonna be honest, I'm in love with this shoe, and that probably has something to do with the fact that my signature is on the back and on the insole, and that I designed it from the ground up. And whether you like the design or not, that's not really what this is about. It's the fact that we all sort of came together and experienced how it is to make a shoe together, which I think is so cool. Obviously, I love the fact that there's a lot of people out there who really like this sneaker, and I really appreciate that. And I also actually appreciate the constructive criticism, the people who are like, I like the shoe, but the midsole's too thick, or I like the shoe and it's too expensive. I totally understand those complaints. Like I said, we had to go with this midsole, and it might not have been my first choice visually, but it's something that I think worked out. And the price point, like I just explained, it's because of the materials that we're using and the labor cost in Portugal. It's not China. We can't do it for as cheaply as we could do in China, so that's the reason it's more expensive. It's really the people who, for some reason, are only really on the YouTube community tab, because they don't seem to show up as much in the YouTube comments or on Instagram or on Twitter. I genuinely don't know why that is. Maybe people expect me to read the comments on the videos or on Instagram or on Twitter, and that's why people are nicer. But for whatever reason, the people in the YouTube community tab, they suck. Like, that's all it is. They have no constructive criticism, and all I gotta say to you guys is, where's your shoe at? But in all seriousness, I love this shoe. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really thankful to all of you for the support that you've given me, whether that's just through watching videos or commenting, liking, and disliking videos, because that all helps the algorithm. And also a huge thank you to We Are Underdogs for giving me this opportunity. This has been life-changing. I can't believe it. And I'm stoked. Hopefully this is just the first of many. We'll have to see. Also, if you'd like to pre-order a pair for yourself, the link to do so is in the top of the description. And finally, moving on to the last pair of sneakers on today's list, and also my most worn pair of sneakers that I picked up this year, the OffWhite Air Jordan 5s. First of all, I think Virgil absolutely killed this collaboration. I think he breathed some much needed life back into the Off-White Nike collab, because some of those more recent collaborations just didn't really have the same oomph that they did back in the beginning. And while I don't think this is my favorite shoe on the list, it's definitely my most worn. And there are a lot of reasons for that. The first is that I got this shoe before the quarantine, so I had the most opportunity to wear it. The second is that I actually wore this to Portugal. It was like the only pair of sneakers that I brought to Portugal, so I wore it a bunch on that trip. And the third is because it's really easy to wear because it looks great, and it's also stupid comfortable. The Off-White Air Jordan 5 does an excellent job of respecting the Air Jordan 5 silhouette while trying something new and different. It obviously comes in the OG black metallic colorway. It's got the 3M tongue, it's got the Nike Air on the heel, it's even got the 23 on the lateral side. And one of the most interesting details is that the outsole actually comes in sort of a pre-aged yellow, which I think is kind of cool. And obviously, that's the color that the outsole would be if it was an older pair of Air Jordan 5s. But Virgil changes things up by using a different kind of material on the upper. It's sort of a plastic mesh fabric, which I don't really love, but it's different. And he tries something really out there and really crazy by adding these circular punch outs all around the sneaker. I have no idea what the reason for them is. I haven't done like too much research on the shoe to know that, but I do have to say that my favorite instance of this is actually on the medial side, where it cuts through this plastic mesh midfoot panel and you see the Off-White branding sort of written underneath. The Off-White Air Jordan 5 is such an interesting and unique pair of sneakers, and I feel like if he had used a different colorway on this sneaker, it wouldn't have popped the same way that it does in the original colorway. And I really can't overstate it, but for some reason, even with less padding, it's still one of the most comfortable sneakers I've picked up this year. I don't understand it, I don't know what it is about this shoe, but it feels great on foot. You do need to make sure that you're going half a size down though, because without the padding, it's a much bigger fit. The Off-White Air Jordan 5 is one of my favorite pickups from this year and also is my most worn pickup from this year. But with that, we pretty much wrap up the list for today. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on this list and which shoe you like the best, so let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.